If you're over 40 and you're just starting your YouTube journey, you've probably been told the same thing over and over again. Build a personal brand, pick your colors, find your voice, show up, be consistent. And look, the internet gurus, they aren't wrong. It works. It just doesn't work for you. Because if you're over 40 and you're starting a YouTube channel, trying to find out who you actually are and how you make money on YouTube, the worst thing you could do is mimic these gurus and try to build a personal brand. So in this video, I'm going to show you what to build instead. Now, I gave a TED talk on this exact subject, and what I'm going to share with you is the only thing that you can sustain. Not for a year, but forever. You see, I didn't arrive at this from reading a book or watching someone else's YouTube channel. I arrived at this the hard way. 10 years as a police officer, 8 of those as a detective. And when I left, I did exactly what every other guru told me to do. So I tried to build a personal brand. I thought about my colors, I thought about my logo, thought about my voice. And I sat there trying to manufacture something from the outside in. And you know what? It felt so wrong. I mean, every single day it felt wrong and just completely off. Because here's the thing, I already had a voice. I spent 8 years as a detective using it, asking questions, finding the truth, cutting through all of the noise. I didn't need to craft a voice. I needed to use the one that I already had. And that realization became a TEDx talk on this exact idea 8 years ago. So when I tell you that personal branding for beginners gets this wrong, especially if you're over 40, I'm not guessing on this. I've lived it. I spent years helping people over 40 avoid the mistake that I almost made. Does it sound familiar? Good. Well, stay with me then. Now let me ask you something. When you think about building a personal brand, what comes to mind? Probably this, a logo, a nice color palette, a carefully crafted bio that took you maybe 13 times to write. Then there's the content strategy, a posting schedule, an aesthetic, a kind of vibe. Here's the problem with all of that, okay? Every single piece of that is built from the outside in. You're constructing something, you're manufacturing this kind of identity and then trying to live inside it. The Harvard Business Review published something pretty recently and it completely stopped me in my tracks. Did you know that 80% of consumers say authenticity matters to them online? Yet nearly half believe most influencers are fake. That's not a trust recession, that's a complete trust collapse. And it happened because too many people built their personal brand from the outside in, performing a version of themselves that they thought the algorithm wanted to see. Now, I hate injustice. I always have. That's why I became a detective. And I see a massive injustice happening online right now. Because the gurus burn the bridges for everyone. The bro marketing, the income screenshots, the fake urgency. They've made every viewer assume they're being sold to the moment someone hits record. Something very similar happened when I joined the police. Officers who came before me had done dodgy deals, cut corners, used their position for themselves instead of the people they served. And then when I walked in, fresh, motivated, wanting to do it right, I was being judged for what they did. And I had to earn back trust that had already been spent. That's exactly what's happening online right now. And the people paying the price are the ones trying to start something genuine. But here's what the gurus won't tell you. Now, they're not lying. Their advice actually works, but for their audience. People who already have traffic, people who are building from scratch with nothing but time and energy. But that's just not you. You see, a personal brand monetizes your face, but what you actually need monetizes something far more powerful than just your face. It monetizes your heart, because you've lived something. You've gone all in on something for decades. You've made real decisions. You've had real failures. You've built real wisdom. And no 25-year-old with a ring light can replicate that, no matter how good their content looks. That's not a personal brand. That's something different entirely. And there's a name for it. I call it a heart brand. Now, before you scroll past, stay with me, because this is the idea that I gave a TED talk about. And it's the thing that changes everything about how you show up. A Personal brand is built from the outside in. You know, you decide how you want to be seen, and then you perform that version of yourself every time you hit record. You pick your colours and you craft your voice. You manufacture a consistency that has nothing to do with who you actually are. And the moment you're tired, the moment you're off, or life gets in the way, the brand starts to crack. Because it was never about you in the first place. A heart brand, you see, is built from the inside out. When you speak from your values, when everything that comes out of your mouth is grounded in who you actually are and what you actually believe. You see, you never have to manufacture your voice because everything you say is already on brand, always, automatically. You see, you'll attract the right people towards you and you'll repel the wrong ones. And it's not because of your colours or your logo, but because of your honesty and your sincerity. The fact that you are completely and unapologetically yourself on camera. My friends, we use our face on camera not to build a brand, we use it to build trust. There's a reason I tell people never to build a faceless YouTube channel. It's because the whites of your eyes build something that no logo can ever do. When someone can see you, really see you, they decide in seconds whether you're genuine. And genuine is the only thing that survives long term. So no logo required, no colour palette needed, no manufactured voice. Just you speaking from your heart every single time. But here's the question that everyone asks me next. What exactly do I speak about? How do I know what my heart brand actually is and what it's built around, Stephen? Well, that's where we go next. So before I show you the foundation of every heart brand I've ever helped build, if this is landing for you, I would love for you to drop the word heart in the comments below. I'm going to send you something that will help you find yours with literally 10 simple questions. Now, I want to actually help you find your niche. I know, that's kind of the devil word, isn't it? Not the way the gurus tell you, not by picking a topic and staying in your lane, but by doing what I'm about to share. Before you build anything, before you film a single video, before you write a single blog post, I want you to do something that most people skip entirely. And skipping it is exactly why most people burn out within 6 months. I want you to find your Ikigai. Now, if you haven't ever heard that word before, please stay with me. Ikigai is a Japanese concept that's been searched over 250,000 times every month by people trying to figure out exactly what you're trying to figure out right now. What am I actually here to build? It sits at the intersection of 4 questions. And they're really simple questions, but the answers will tell you everything about your heart brand and what it's built around. So question 1, what do you love? Not what you think you should love, not what looks good on a content plan, what genuinely lights you up. The conversations you have for free, the problems you find yourself kind of thinking about in the shower, the thing that you would talk about and completely lose track of time. Then there's question 2. What does the world need? What are the questions being asked out there? You know, in pubs, in living rooms, in comment sections, in gardens. What are the questions that you can answer? What are the frequently searched, frequently asked questions that you could answer better than anyone else out there? Because you've lived the answer, not just studied it. And then there's question 3. What can you be paid for? Because let me be completely honest with you. Money is fuel. It's the energy that keeps a sustainable business running. If you can't eventually be paid for this, it's a hobby, not a business. And there's nothing wrong with a hobby. But we're building a business here, aren't we? Now, question 4, what are you really good at? I mean, really, really good at. Not just competent, not just experienced in. The thing where, when you're doing it, time just kind of disappears. The thing that people come to you for without being asked. The thing where you've been doing it for so long, it just feels really ordinary to you. But to someone 10 years behind you, it looks like a superpower. You see, where those 4 things meet, that's your heart brand. That is the thing that you can build a YouTube channel around and never run out of things to say. Because you're not performing a niche, you're actually living it. And here's the thing that nobody tells you. That intersection, your Ikigai, that's already inside you. You don't have to reinvent it. You just have to find it. Which brings me to the bit that everyone gets wrong about making money from this. especially at the beginning. Now, the gurus will tell you you need a course, a funnel, 1,000 subscribers, a finished website, a lead magnet, an email sequence. Oh, it's exhausting. They're completely wrong. When you're starting out, when you're over 40 with a day job and a family and a life that doesn't stop, you don't need any of that. You need one thing: the ability to have a conversation with the right person. I mean, a real conversation. And I call this the Today Business. And it works like this. You make a video, one video, answering one question that your audience is already asking. You know, a question that sits right at the heart of your Ikigai. And then you post it on YouTube. Someone will watch it. They will resonate with you because you showed up as yourself, not as a performed version of yourself. They will reach out to you, and then you invite them onto a call. Now, this is not a sales call, okay? It's just a simple conversation where you get to see the whites of their eyes. You ask your questions, and if you spent any time in a professional role, you already know how to ask questions, so you don't need me to teach you. And you listen underneath to what they're saying to find the real problem, and you fix something on a call, completely free. And then you give them something genuinely useful that they can take away. And then you ask them this: would you like help going further? That's the Today Business, that's it. Now, there are 3 ways in which you can deliver your expertise. You can go down the do-it-yourself route, one-to-one, direct, high touch. You can do it with them, maybe in a group setting, small mastermind or a community, or do it for them. You literally take the wheel completely. You need to know which one you are, because trying to do all 3 when you're getting started is just how you end up burning out and do none of them well. Now, there's something that genuinely makes me angry. Every guru on the internet right now is telling you the same thing. Don't do discovery calls. Don't meet people one-to-one. You can't scale it. You know what? They're right. You can't scale it. But here's what they're not telling you. You don't need to scale it yet. Let me be straight with you about why they say it. They say it because they want to keep you stuck. They want you dependent on their next course, their next program, next live event. Because if you figure out that you can make real money from real conversations with real people, you don't need them anymore. And I think that this is fundamentally and morally wrong. Come on, you can make $5, $10, $15, $20,000 a month by making videos, inviting people to a call, solving a real problem, and asking them if they'd like to go deeper. There's no funnel required, there's no team required, just you, your expertise, and a willingness to show up. And my friends, I need you to hear me when I say this. The trust that gets built in just one honest conversation is worth more than 10,000 views from people who never felt anything when they watch your content. Do the calls, have the conversations, build the trust that can't be manufactured and can't be automated. My client Rose in the Heart Brand Blueprint, she made $15,000 doing this exact process. Because that's what your heart brand runs on. Not an algorithm, not a posting schedule, but trust. So let me bring this all together for you, because I know what some of you are thinking right now. Stephen, it all sounds like a lot. I've got a job, I've got a family, I've got a life that just does not stop because I've decided to build something. Good. Because what I'm about to tell you is the simplest content system that I know. And it's the one that I've used to build everything for the last 13 years running my social media agency. All of my clients go through it. One question, one video, 1 week. That's it. I call it 1 week, 1 message. You answer one question per week, the question your audience is already asking, and it sits right at the heart of your Ikigai. Film it, stick it on YouTube, and then everything flows downstream from that one video. Your blog posts, your newsletter, your social media posts, your LinkedIn article, your tweets or your X's or whatever they're called these days. All of that comes from that one single piece of content. It's called in the industry the content waterfall. One source and everything, like I said, is downstream. And here's where AI comes in, because I know you'll be thinking about AI. And AI is an absolute extraordinary amplifier, but it's not a replacement. Never a replacement. Because AI generated content, it has no soul, it has no heart brand, it's got no lived experience, no detective's eye for what are really going on underneath the surface. But as an amplifier, to take your words, your ideas, your voice, and help you distribute it across every platform, it is absolutely, genuinely extraordinary. But the source has to be you. speaking it into existence on camera from the heart. Because when you speak it, you're not just creating content, you're putting your values, your beliefs, your truth into the world in a way that the right people will find. And the wrong, they'll just stay away anyway. And that's not a problem. That's the heart brand working exactly as it should. You see, this isn't about building a personal brand. It's about building something that comes from something so deep inside you that it could only ever be yours. It can't be replicated. Something that doesn't need a logo because your face is your logo. It doesn't need a manufactured voice because your voice is already the most powerful thing that you have. That's your heart brand. And it's already inside you, waiting to come out. You just needed someone to tell you. So now you know the heart brand model. There's one thing most people miss: how to actually manage the transition to this kind of business while you still have a day job. So watch this video next to learn how a client of mine made his first 10K month without quitting his job.